My wife vanished for 5 days. No call, no text, nothing. When she finally walked in, she said, "I don't owe you answers." I replied, "You're right." Then I handed her divorce papers and the hotel receipts the PI found. Her confident smirk disappeared when I, 36 male, guess I'll start with the worst Tuesday of my life. My wife, 34, left for work that morning like normal. Coffee, kiss on the cheek, see you tonight, standard Tuesday stuff. Except she didn't come home. No call, no text, nothing. First night, I figured she went out with coworkers. She does that sometimes, comes home late, but by 2 a.m. with no response to my texts, I was worried. Called her best friend, nothing. Called her sister, nothing. They both seemed confused she wasn't home. Day 2, I filed a missing persons report. Cop was sympathetic but realistic. No signs of foul play, phones on, credit cards haven't been used suspiciously. Adults have the right to leave. But she didn't tell me she was leaving. He shrugged. Marital dispute? We hadn't even been fighting. That's what made it insane. Sure, things had been a bit routine lately. We'd been married 8 years, both working demanding jobs, me in logistics, her in pharmaceutical sales. But nothing warranted vanishing. Days 3 and 4 were hell. Her phone went to voicemail. Her sister finally admitted she'd gotten one text. "I'm fine. Need time." That's it. Her parents called me screaming about what I must have done. I had no answers. Day 4, late afternoon, I did something. Called a PI. Guy named Ray, came recommended by a colleague who'd used him for a workers' comp case. Explained the situation. "Your wife's missing but told her family she's fine? Yeah. And you want to know where she is? I want to know what the hell is happening." He took the case. Said he'd start immediately. Find her phone location. Check hotels, usual stuff. I felt gross doing it, but also she vanished. For 4 days. With zero explanation. Screw feeling guilty. Day 5, Friday evening around 8 p.m. I'm sitting on the couch in sweatpants, living off pizza and anxiety when I hear her key in the lock. She walks in. Suitcase. Fresh clothes, hair done. Looks relaxed, almost glowing. I just stared. "Hey," she says casually, like she'd been gone for an afternoon. "Where have you been?" She rolls her eyes. Literally rolls her eyes at me. I needed space. I'm allowed to need space. For 5 days? Without telling me? I don't owe you a minute-by-minute breakdown of my life. My brain short-circuited. You've been gone. I filed a missing persons report. Your parents think I killed you. That's dramatic. She heads to the kitchen, grabs a water bottle from the fridge. I'm an adult. I can take a break when I need one. A break from what? Our marriage? Me? She turns and there's this look on her face. Smug. Confident. From the suffocation. You're always here, always hovering. I needed to remember who I am without you. So you ghosted your husband for 5 days. I told my sister I was fine. 1 text in 4 days. She crosses her arms. Look, I'm back now. Can we not do this? I'm tired. Something in me snapped. The disrespect. The casual cruelty of it. I stood up. You're right, I said calmly. You don't owe me answers. She looked relieved. Smiled even. I walked to the home office, grabbed the manila folder Ray had couriered over 2 hours ago, walked back, handed it to her. Divorce papers. Already filed, you've been served. Her smile disappeared. What? And these? I pulled out the printed hotel receipts. Courtyard Hotel, 5 nights, 1 king bed, 2 guests checked in under her name. Her face went white. Opened the folder with shaking hands. You hired someone to follow me? You vanished for 5 days. Yeah, I hired someone. She flipped through the papers. Photos. Time-stamped. Her and some guy I didn't recognize walking into the hotel Tuesday night. Leaving Wednesday morning for breakfast. Back in the evening. Same routine for 5 days. This is... She looked up at me, and the smugness was gone. Pure panic now. This isn't what it looks like. Room service receipts show meals for 2. Champagne on night 3 looks pretty clear to me. You can't just file for divorce without talking to me. You vanished for 5 days without talking to me. I think we're past talking. She tried a different tactic. Voice softer, tears forming. Baby, please. This was a mistake. I was confused. Work's been stressful and he was there and I wasn't thinking clearly. Who is he? A colleague. It doesn't matter. It meant nothing. His name's on the hotel registration too. My lawyer already has it. The tears stopped. Her face hardened. You're going to regret this. You think you can just ambush me like this? Ambush? You ambushed our marriage when you spent 5 days in a hotel with another man. I needed space. You got it. Permanent space. The papers say you have 30 days to get your stuff out. I'm keeping the house. You can't kick me out of my house. It's my house. Bought it before we got married. Your name's not on the deed. I'd been smart about that. Learned from my dad's divorce. Kept my house separate, even after marriage. We talked about adding her to the title eventually. Eventually never came. She threw the folder at me. Papers scattered. You're a piece of shit. I'm the piece of shit. I'm not the one who disappeared to screw someone else. I'm calling my lawyer. Good. Mine's expecting the call. Her info's on page 3. She grabbed her phone, stormed to the bedroom, slammed the door. I could hear her making calls, yelling, crying, more yelling. I picked up the scattered papers, put them back in the folder. My hands were shaking now. Adrenaline wearing off. I'd just blown up my marriage. Officially. Legally. But she'd blown it up 5 days ago. I was just acknowledging reality. Sat back down on the couch. Ray had included a note, confirmed affair. Photos, receipts attached. Subject showed no indication of guilt or remorse during surveillance. Good luck. She stayed in the bedroom that night. I stayed on the couch. Neither of us slept much. The next morning after I served her, she came out of the bedroom around 10 a.m. I was making coffee. We need to talk, she said. Talk to your lawyer. Don't be childish. Coming from the woman who vanished for 5 days without warning. Rich. I got a lawyer, she continued. He says you can't just kick me out. I have rights as your spouse. Cool. My lawyer says I can absolutely enforce the 30-day notice since the house is solely in my name and you committed adultery. You have to prove adultery. I held up my phone, showed her one of the photos. Her and hotel guy kissing outside the hotel on day 2. Her jaw clenched. That's invasion of privacy. That's evidence in a public space. Nothing illegal about it. She switched tactics again. Softer voice. Look, can we try to work this out? Go to counseling or something? No. Just like that? 8 years and you're just done? You were done when you checked into that hotel. I'm just catching up. She stared at me. Then the mask dropped completely. Fine. But I'm taking half of everything. Your retirement, your savings, everything. You can try. She left for the day, probably to her sister's place based on the heated phone call I overheard before she stormed out. My lawyer, Miss Rodriguez, called that afternoon. Sharp woman, mid-40s, came highly recommended. Her lawyer contacted me. Mr. Brighton, he's ambitious. What's that mean? He's claiming you're being vindictive and unreasonable. Wants temporary spousal support immediately, half the house value, and is threatening to fight the adultery evidence. On what grounds? He's going to argue it was a brief lapse in judgment during a mental health crisis and shouldn't define the entire marriage. I almost laughed. Mental health crisis? She was drinking champagne at a hotel. I know, we have receipts, literally, but be prepared, this won't be quick or clean. She's already spinning a narrative. What narrative? That you're controlling, that she felt trapped, that this is an overreaction to a one-time mistake made during extreme stress. One time? Ray said they checked in together. That's premeditated. I know, we'll use that. But her lawyer's going to paint you as the bad guy. It's standard strategy. She was right. By that weekend, her sister was blowing up my phone. Her mom called crying about how could I do this to her baby. Even her dad, who I'd always gotten along with, left a voicemail about being disappointed in me for giving up so easily. None of them mentioned the affair. Not once. Like it didn't exist. I didn't engage. Blocked most of them. Kept communications strictly through lawyers. But here's where it got messy. Her best friend showed up at my house Monday morning. I'd just gotten back from work. She was waiting by the door. We need to talk. No, we don't. She made a mistake. One mistake in 8 years. You're really going to throw her away over that? She didn't make a mistake. She made a choice, multiple choices, for 5 days. She was depressed. Work was stressing her out. That guy gave her attention when you weren't. I was home every night. She's the one who checked into a hotel with someone else. You don't understand what she's been going through. Neither do you, apparently. She didn't tell anyone, including me, her husband. She tried the guilt angle for 10 more minutes. I just stood there, arms crossed, waiting for her to finish. You know what? You're cold. Maybe she was right to find someone else. Great. She can be with him now, permanently. She left in a huff. That same week, I got a call from a blocked number. Answered without thinking. Hello? Is this him? Male voice, mid-30s. Who's this? You know who, your wife's friend. Hotel guy. Are you serious right now? Congrats on the promotion, I said. She's all yours. Look man, I just wanted to say, this wasn't supposed to happen like this. What wasn't supposed to happen? The affair you planned or the divorce you caused? She told me you guys were basically over, that you'd grown apart. Did she mention we were still married and living together? Pause. She said it was complicated. It's not complicated. It's adultery. Pretty simple, actually. I didn't know she'd just disappear like that. She said she'd talk to you. She lied to you too? Shocking. Another pause. I'm not trying to cause problems. Bit late for that. She's staying with me now. Thought you should know. So she'd moved in with him. Even better for my case. Thanks for the info. My lawyer will love that. Wait, what? I hung up. Called Miss Rodriguez immediately. Wife's living with the affair partner already. How's that play for us? Perfectly. Shows the affair wasn't a brief lapse. Shows it was an ongoing relationship. Undermines any sympathy she might get. Keep documenting everything. The entitlement reached levels I didn't think possible. First, her lawyer filed for an emergency hearing claiming I was financially abusing her by not paying her bills anymore. Which bills? Her car payment. Car I co-signed on but she's primary. Her credit cards, all in her name. Her student loans, all hers. Miss Rodriguez shut that down fast. She has a job making $70K a year. She chose to leave the marital home. She moved in with her affair partner. There's no abuse here. Judge agreed. No emergency support. She'd have to wait for the actual divorce proceedings to argue spousal support. Her lawyer tried a different angle. Claimed the PI evidence was obtained illegally. That Ray had stalked her. Miss Rodriguez brought Ray to the next hearing. He calmly explained he's a licensed investigator who observed my wife in public spaces and obtained publicly available records, hotel bookings under her name. Nothing illegal. Judge wasn't amused by the accusation. Told her lawyer to focus on relevant issues. But the real dirty trick came from her family. Her dad showed up at my work, just walked into the office asking for me. Receptionist called back, confused. I went to the lobby. We need to talk. Privately. I took him outside. What's up? You need to drop this divorce. Work it out with her. No. She made a mistake, a stupid mistake. But 8 years of marriage should count for something. It did count, until she spent 5 days in a hotel with another man. She was having a breakdown, while having daily champagne service. He got red in the face. You always were stubborn, just like your father. Low blow. He knew my dad and I didn't talk much after his own messy divorce. This isn't about stubbornness, it's about respect. She had none. I'm asking you man to man to reconsider, for her sake. Man to man? She didn't extend me that courtesy when she vanished. He tried a different approach. Look, if you go through with this, it's going to get ugly. We'll fight you on everything. The house, retirement, savings. You'll be in court for years. Is that a threat? It's reality. Drop it now. We can mediate something reasonable. Push forward. We'll make sure you regret it. I looked at him. This man I'd had barbecues with, watched football games with, who'd welcomed me into his family. I'm not dropping it. She cheated. That's non-negotiable. Then you're going to lose more than a wife. He left. I went back inside, hands shaking. My boss caught me in the hallway. Everything okay? That looked intense. Personal stuff. I'm good. He nodded but looked concerned. I realized her dad might try to cause problems at my job too. Called Miss Rodriguez. Her dad just threatened me, basically said they'll drag this out and ruin me financially if I don't drop it. Standard intimidation tactic. Don't engage. Document the conversation while it's fresh. If he shows up at your work again, file a restraining order. That weekend, she tried to get into the house. I changed the locks after she moved out. Miss Rodriguez advised it. She showed up Saturday morning, pounding on the door. I opened it but kept the chain on. I need to get some of my stuff. Schedule it through your lawyer. That's ridiculous. It's my stuff. In my house. Schedule it through lawyers. You left. You don't get to just waltz back in. You're being petty. I'm being cautious. You already stole 5 days of my life, not giving you access to anything else. She tried to push the door. Chain held. I'm calling the cops. Go ahead, they'll tell you the same thing. Schedule through lawyers. She did call the cops. They showed up 20 minutes later. I showed them the divorce filing, the adultery evidence, explained she'd moved out and was living with the affair partner. Officer looked at her. Ma'am, he's right. This is a civil matter. You need to arrange property retrieval through your lawyers. She exploded, yelling about her rights, her belongings, how I was stealing from her. Officer cut her off. Ma'am, calm down or I'll have to ask you to leave. She stormed off. But not before screaming, "You're going to pay for this," loud enough for the neighbors to hear. Great. Now the neighbors think I'm the bad guy. Later that week, I got a call from the bank. Someone tried to access our old joint account, one we'd opened years ago and rarely used. Had maybe $2,000 in it. Sir, there was an attempted withdrawal. We blocked it per your previous instructions. After I'd filed for divorce, I'd gone to the bank and put holds on any joint accounts pending legal division. Who tried to access it? Your wife. She claimed you'd locked her out of her own money. It's a joint account pending divorce proceedings. She's not supposed to touch it. We're aware. Just wanted to confirm with you. She was trying to drain accounts behind the scenes while crying poverty to the judge. Ms. Rodriguez added it to our evidence pile. Then came the character assassination. Her sister started posting vague Facebook statuses. Sometimes the people you think you know show their true colors. Pray for my sister going through abuse. Divorce isn't always about falling out of love. Sometimes it's about escaping toxicity. Never mentioned my name. But everyone knew. My phone started getting random texts from mutual friends. Hey man, heard about the split. Sorry you're going through this. Your wife posted some concerning things on her sister's page. You okay? I didn't respond to most of them. The ones I did, I kept it simple. We're divorcing. It's complicated. I'd appreciate privacy. My actual friends, the ones who knew me before her, didn't buy her narrative. They reached out offering support. One buddy offered his couch if I needed space. Another just showed up with beer and didn't ask questions. But I lost some friends in this. People who'd been our friends but were really her friends. They bought whatever story she was selling. Whatever. Seeing who stuck around was clarifying. The divorce hearing got scheduled, 6 weeks out. Ms. Rodriguez was confident. She's living with the affair partner, tried to drain joint accounts, her family's harassing you, and we have documented evidence of adultery. Judge will not be sympathetic to her. What about the house? House is yours. Bought before marriage. Never added her to deed. At most, she might claim some equity if she can prove she contributed to mortgage payments. Do you have documentation of who paid what? I paid the mortgage from my account, entirely. She contributed to groceries and utilities. Perfect. Keep those records. The waiting was the hardest part. Knowing she was out there spinning narratives. Knowing her family was plotting, knowing this was far from over. But I wasn't backing down. She nuked the marriage. I was just handling the fallout. Divorce finalized last week. Feels surreal to write that. The 6 weeks leading up to the hearing were mostly quiet. She tried a few more stunts, showed up at my work again. I filed a restraining order, had her mom call my mom. My mom shut that down hard, sent me a long email about how she still loved me, and this was all a big misunderstanding. I forwarded every single thing to Ms. Rodriguez, didn't respond to any of it. The hearing itself was anticlimactic. Her lawyer tried to paint her as a victim of a controlling marriage who made one mistake during a mental health crisis. Ms. Rodriguez countered with the timeline. 5 days premeditated hotel stay. Daily room service for 2. Champagne. Photos of her kissing the affair partner. Her immediately moving in with him after being served. The attempted account draining. Judge listened to both sides, asked her directly, "Ma'am, did you inform your husband you were leaving for 5 days?" "No, Your Honor." "Did you communicate with him at all during those 5 days?" "I texted my sister once." "But not your husband?" "No." "And you were staying at a hotel with another man during this time?" She got quiet. Her lawyer jumped in with the mental health crisis argument. Judge shut him down. "Counsel, I understand your client was stressed, but the evidence shows a level of planning inconsistent with a spontaneous mental health crisis. The hotel reservation was made 3 days in advance. That's not impulsive behavior." My heart was pounding. Miss Rodriguez stayed calm next to me. Judge continued. I'm granting the divorce. Grounds of adultery are substantiated. As for asset division, this was the part I was dreading. The house is Mr. Me's separate property, acquired before marriage. Wife has no claim. However, here it comes. Wife is entitled to a portion of marital assets accumulated during the 8-year marriage. Retirement accounts, savings, joint property. Miss Rodriguez had prepared me for this. No fault state meant, even with adultery, she'd get something. Final numbers, she got 30% of my retirement account, about 45 Qley, half of our joint savings, about $8, all that was left after legal fees, and her car. I kept the house, my individual savings account, and my pension. Could have been worse. Could have been way worse. Spousal support was denied. Judge said she had gainful employment and was cohabiting with a new partner. Her lawyer tried to argue she'd sacrificed career advancement for the marriage. Miss Rodriguez pulled out her salary history showing she'd gotten steady raises and promotions throughout our marriage. That argument died. Her face during the ruling was something. Started confident, ended devastated. Reality hitting that she wasn't getting the house, wasn't getting alimony, wasn't getting much at all. Outside the courthouse, her mom tried to confront me, screaming about how I'd ruined her daughter's life. Miss Rodriguez stepped between us. Ma'am, this is over. Any further harassment and we'll pursue legal action. Mom backed off, but not before calling me every name in the book. Her dad just looked at me and shook his head. Disappointing, but expected. I went home, sat in my house, and just breathed. It was over. Finally over. The aftermath's been interesting. She had to move out of hotel guy's place after 2 months. Apparently he wasn't ready for a live-in girlfriend, and she couldn't afford her own place after legal fees. Heard through mutual friends she's back with her parents, working her same job, complaining about how unfair the divorce was. Hotel guy blocked her on everything after she kept trying to get him to pay for things. Guess the champagne and romance phase wore off when reality hit. Her sister still posts vague statuses about karma and justice. I blocked her. Her best friend tried to reach out once with some message about forgiveness. Deleted without reading. As for me, I'm okay. Not great, not terrible. Okay, lost some money in the settlement. Lost some friends who believed her story. Lost 8 years of my life to someone who clearly didn't value them. But I kept my house, kept my dignity, kept my self-respect. Started therapy a few weeks ago. Needed to process everything. Therapist says I'm handling it remarkably well considering. I told her I'm just doing what needed to be done. Dating? Nah, not ready, maybe not for a while. The trust issues are real. Work's been a good distraction. Got promoted actually. More responsibility, but better pay. Ironic timing. Been hanging out with my actual friends more. The ones who stuck around, quality over quantity and all that. Redecorated the house, got rid of furniture she picked out. New couch, new bedroom set, new everything. Felt good to erase her presence from my space. My mom's been checking in regularly. She never liked my wife much anyway. Said she always seemed too focused on what she could get. Mom's intuition was right. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't hired Ray. If I'd just waited for her to come back and believed whatever story she spun, I'd probably still be married to someone cheating on me, thinking everything was fine. The PI cost me $3,500. The divorce cost me about $15 in legal fees, plus the settlement, $60 plus total. Worth every penny to know the truth and get out. No big Hollywood ending here, no dramatic revenge, just consequences. She made choices. I made choices in response. The legal system did its thing. She's living with her parents at 34, explaining to everyone how her ex-husband ruined her life over one mistake. I'm living in my house, single, working on myself, and sleeping fine at night. I don't hate her. I don't love her. I don't feel much of anything about her anymore. Honestly, she's just someone I used to know who showed me exactly who she was, and I believed her. That's it. That's the end. Time to close this chapter and figure out what's next.